What if one of the most powerful anti-aging foods in the world has been quietly sitting in your kitchen this whole time? Not hidden in an expensive supplement, not locked behind a prescription, not discovered in some futuristic laboratory, but resting on your counter, bright red, simple, ordinary. Tomatoes. For decades, scientists have studied certain populations around the world that seem to live longer, healthier lives. Lower rates of heart disease, better brain function, stronger skin, more energy, even into old age. And one food appears again and again and again. But here's the strange part. Most people eat tomatoes completely the wrong way and unknowingly miss some of their most powerful benefits. Tonight, we're diving deep into the hidden science, ancient history, surprising myths, and real-life health effects of one of the most underestimated foods on Earth. And by the end of this video, you may never look at a tomato the same way again.
Tomatoes are everywhere. In salads, on burgers, inside pasta sauce, pizza, soup, juice. Most people barely think about them. But beneath that smooth red skin is a surprisingly complex nutritional powerhouse, filled with compounds your body desperately needs, especially as you age. What's fascinating is that tomatoes weren't always trusted. In fact, there was once a time when people believed tomatoes were poisonous. Today, researchers are exploring how compounds inside tomatoes may support heart health, protect cells from oxidative stress, support healthy aging, and even help your skin handle years of sun exposure. And the deeper scientists look, the more surprising this humble fruit becomes. Yes, technically tomatoes are fruits. But their story goes far beyond nutrition. It's a story about longevity, survival, modern disease, and the small everyday choices that quietly shape our future health.
Tomatoes originated thousands of years ago in South America, where early civilizations cultivated small wild varieties long before modern agriculture existed. When tomatoes first arrived in Europe during the 1500s, many people feared them. Some wealthy Europeans became sick after eating tomatoes and blamed the fruit itself. But the real culprit wasn't the tomato. It was their plates. Acidic tomatoes reacted with pewter dishes containing lead, causing poisoning. For years, tomatoes carried the nickname the poison apple. Imagine that. One of the healthiest foods in modern nutrition was once feared as deadly. But eventually, cultures like Italy and regions around the Mediterranean embraced tomatoes fully. And something interesting happened. These populations often experienced lower rates of cardiovascular disease and longer lifespans compared to many Western populations. Researchers began noticing a pattern. Could tomatoes be part of the reason? Today, tomatoes are one of the most researched foods in nutritional science. And much of that attention centers around one extraordinary compound: lycopene, a powerful antioxidant responsible for the tomato's deep red color. But as you'll soon discover, lycopene is only the beginning.
Heart disease remains one of the leading causes of death in America. And yet, many people overlook the role daily inflammation and oxidative stress play inside the body. Tomatoes contain nutrients linked to supporting cardiovascular health, including potassium, vitamin C, fiber, and lycopene. Lycopene is especially fascinating because researchers believe it may help protect cells from oxidative damage caused by unstable molecules called free radicals. Think of free radicals like tiny sparks, slowly damaging your body over time. Tomatoes help your body fight back. Some studies suggest that people who regularly consume tomato-rich diets may support healthier cholesterol balance and blood vessel function. And here's something many people don't know. Cooked tomatoes often contain more bioavailable lycopene than raw ones, meaning your body may absorb it better from tomato sauce than from fresh slices. Sometimes, the healthiest foods don't need to be complicated. Sometimes it's simply pasta sauce simmering on a stove. One of the greatest fears people have about aging is losing their memory. Forgetting names, moments, conversations, parts of themselves. The brain is incredibly sensitive to inflammation and oxidative stress, and over time, those tiny damages accumulate. Tomatoes contain compounds that may help support the brain's natural defense systems. Researchers are exploring how antioxidants like lycopene could play a role in supporting cognitive wellness as people age. What's remarkable is that the foods we eat today may influence how clearly we think years to come. That means your lunch, your dinner, even your snack choices could quietly shape your future brain health. And unlike restrictive health trends that come and go, tomatoes are simple, affordable, accessible, which may be one reason they've remained a staple food for centuries. Most anti-aging products focus on the outside: creams, serums, expensive treatments. But real aging often starts internally, inside your cells, inside your inflammation levels, inside the daily stress your body experiences. Tomatoes contain antioxidants that may help support the skin against environmental stressors, including sun exposure. Some research suggests lycopene may help the skin become more resilient over time. Not sunscreen replacement, not magic, but support from within. And maybe that's the bigger lesson here. Longevity rarely comes from one miracle product. It comes from consistent small habits repeated for years. A bowl of tomato soup, fresh salsa, a homemade pasta sauce. Tiny daily choices, quietly shaping the future version of you.
Modern diets are often overloaded with ultra-processed foods, too much sugar, too much sodium, too little fiber. Tomatoes help bring balance back. They're naturally low in calories while containing water and fiber that can help support fullness and digestion. That means tomatoes can help meals feel satisfying without feeling heavy. And when people start replacing heavily processed foods with whole foods like tomatoes, something incredible often happens. Energy improves, digestion feels lighter, cravings decrease. Not overnight, but gradually, because the body responds to consistency more than intensity. Blood sugar spikes affect more than diabetes. They affect mood, energy, cravings, sleep, even aging. Tomatoes have a relatively low glycemic impact and contain nutrients that fit well into balanced eating patterns. When combined with protein and healthy fats, tomatoes become part of meals that feel stable and nourishing. And stability is something the modern body desperately needs. Because many Americans spend their entire day riding a roller coaster of sugar highs and crashes without even realizing it. Sometimes better health doesn't begin with extreme dieting. Sometimes it begins with one healthier plate. Ever notice how your body feels different when you consistently eat real food? More awake, more steady, more alive. Tomatoes contain vitamin C and other nutrients that help support immune function and overall wellness. But there's also something deeper happening, psychologically. When people begin caring for their body intentionally, they often begin caring for themselves differently overall. More movement, better sleep, less stress eating. Health habits tend to connect together like dominoes. And sometimes one simple change can quietly start an entirely new lifestyle. Now let's talk about some of the biggest tomato myths. Myth number 1. Raw tomatoes are always healthier. Not necessarily. Cooking tomatoes can actually increase the availability of lycopene, especially when combined with healthy fats like olive oil. That's why traditional Mediterranean meals often combine tomatoes and olive oil together. And science suggests there may be wisdom behind that tradition. Myth number 2. Tomatoes are bad because they're acidic. For most people, tomatoes are perfectly fine as part of a balanced diet. However, individuals with certain digestive sensitivities may need moderation. Another mistake? Buying beautiful tomatoes with no flavor. Flavor often reflects nutrient development. Deeply ripened tomatoes typically contain richer tastes and potentially more beneficial compounds. And here's a surprising fact. Some scientists consider tomato sauce one of the healthiest processed foods in the world when it contains simple ingredients. Not excessive sugar, not artificial additives. Just tomatoes, herbs, olive oil, and thyme.
A man in his late 50s once described how changing his eating habits completely transformed his energy. Nothing extreme. He simply started cooking more at home. More vegetables. More soups. More tomato-based meals. Months later, he noticed something unexpected. He no longer crashed every afternoon. He felt lighter, clearer, more motivated to move. Another woman began growing tomatoes in her backyard after retirement. At first, it was just gardening therapy. But slowly, her relationship with food changed. She cooked more fresh meals, spent more time outdoors, shared meals with neighbors. Her health improved, but so did her happiness. And maybe that's something we forget in modern wellness culture. Health isn't only nutrients. It's routines, connection, purpose, the feeling of caring for yourself again. Sometimes healing begins with something as small as planting a seed.
So, what's the best way to eat tomatoes? Honestly, variety matters most. Fresh tomatoes provide hydration and vitamin C. Cooked tomatoes may improve lycopene absorption. Pairing tomatoes with healthy fats, like olive oil or avocado, may help your body absorb fat-soluble compounds more efficiently. Some simple ideas: tomato soup with olive oil, fresh salsa, Mediterranean salad, eggs with tomatoes, homemade pasta sauce. And timing matters less than consistency. You don't need perfection. You need patterns. Because longevity is rarely built in one day. It's built meal by meal, year by year.
It's amazing, isn't it? How something so ordinary can carry so much power. Not power in the flashy sense, but quiet power. The kind that protects your body slowly over decades. The kind that helps support your future self. The kind that reminds us health doesn't always come from complexity. Sometimes it comes from nature, from tradition, from slowing down long enough to nourish ourselves properly. Your body is listening to what you feed it every single day. Every meal is information. Every habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. And maybe the real secret to longevity was never hidden in expensive trends at all. Maybe it's been growing quietly in gardens this entire time. So the next time you slice a tomato, remember, you're not just preparing food. You may be investing in your future health, one small choice at a time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and let us know in the comments, how do you love eating tomatoes? And until next time, take care of your body. It's the only place you truly have to live.